What's happening, Wrestling Nation? Coach Kennelly here, and what I'm talking about today is youth sports development. Now, this is an area, as you know, that I've been transitioning senior level, college level, all the way back down to the shorties. I have a 3-year-old daughter and a 5-year-old son. I think they just had birthdays. So this is an area where I've been putting a lot of research into. Even before I had kids, it was very interesting to me to see the neuroplasticities and just things that develop in kids that you can't necessarily learn in later ages. So in the beginning, I took a lot of athletes that started at the high school level and had to get them competitive there first, ready for college, hopefully to compete internationally. That was a different challenge, and then other coaches were just pointing out these development systems, saying we need to start earlier, grassroots. So I looked into those development areas, and what I'm focusing on today is going to be the 2 to 6 age level. The sports that I'm going to recommend, and these are the ones my kids do as well: swimming. Most of the world is covered with water, so you want your kid to be able to swim just for logistical reasons. My kids both are nonverbal, and so they like running towards water, so swimming was necessary for them. And everybody just should know how to learn how to swim, just so in case you get in the water, you can enjoy it and have fun. And God forbid you're ever in there in a dangerous situation, you could get yourself out of there. So swimming is just something that I think everybody should try to get their kids access to. Even the inner cities now all have pools. I know back in the day that wasn't a thing, so there's always options to get swimming. They even try to teach me swimming without water, who I don't necessarily believe in yet, but people are doing it. So hey, figure out whatever you got to do in swimming. That's a must. We got to get that in there. Gymnastics. That gets you good at every other sport. The better gymnast you are, the better body control you have, it's going to translate to whatever you do later on in life. It does make you cool, like walking on your hands, doing pull-ups, lifting that stuff, all fun tricks that you could do. And gymnastics is going to benefit you overall, and it's just great to learn that body awareness, how your body moves in space, getting used to being on the mats, and it's all around fun thing. Kids seem to really like that. Obstacle courses, things like that. American Ninja Warrior. Get your kid into something, getting active. Take them to the park, get them on them thing. My kids go to the park all the time, so it doesn't necessarily need to be a structured class. You could watch YouTube videos, do the things at home, but gymnastics should be part of what the little ones are doing at these ages. We're also going to look for dance classes. I got this a boxer, and everything I realize all starts from the feet. So every movements you got is the feet. So I haven't got my kids in dance classes yet because their retention level is a little bit behind for their age. But as soon as they are ready, then I want to get them dancing, because that footwork is going to help translate again broadly into whatever aspect. Hopefully they wrestle, grapple, do whatever, so I can have some input and help them. But they're going to choose whatever path they want to. And it doesn't hurt to have good footwork in whatever you do. And lastly, I got this one, kind of been watching some Gracie stuff, is mat games. I seen another in Waterford, they're adding a daddy and me class where you bring your kid, just get active on the mat, get your kid on the mat, maybe not even necessarily wrestling, and you could help them, touch them on you, let them hang on your back, let them get on a leg. You could fall. You as the coach can do about 90% of the things that they need to do. Just get them used to rolling around, being rough, touching yourself, touching other kids whenever they're ready, and playing games on the mats. And I got some I'm going to add more to this channel, but go on and research. There's a ton of mat games out there and see what works for you and your family and have fun. But those are the main ingredients sport-wise that I have my kids doing, and I would recommend, if you want your kids to be good wrestlers, grapplers, fighters, that you would have your kids doing at these ages as well. And maybe there's some more I'm missing, so feel free to add those in and tell me what my kids should be doing. So obviously I'm not perfect, first-time father, but I have been mentored, father-like figure to hundreds, if not thousands of kids over the years. So this is some research-backed things as well. No more than 30 minutes for these sessions. You want the kid to come in happy, you want them to leave happy. Anytime they're like, I don't want to go to practice today, something is going wrong. So you want this kid, you want the goals, we're going to get into next, enjoyment and retention. We're not worried about being the best, we're not worried about winning things, we're not being worried about being good at technique. If you want to enjoy this sport, what you're doing, so you're watching this video, you want to enjoy the sport with your kids, just have them have fun. Make it a good experience, make them want to be there. Maybe if they do something bad, like, hey, if you don't do this, we're not going to go to wrestling, jiu-jitsu, whatever class today, etc. And hopefully that means something to it. I don't care. Then, take your foot off the gas, go back, do some reevaluating, because every kid's different. I do believe every kid should wrestle and grapple, because just like brushing your teeth, learning arithmetic, learning how to swim, being able to defend yourself physically is, I put in those categories of things that you should be able to do as a human being as well. So my kids will learn, they'll practice it all until a certain age, but they will never be forced to compete, which we'll get into later on in this. So just really make sure the kid, you do whatever you gotta do, bribes, make it fun. Just get the kids to enjoy this part that you want them so bad to enjoy. Make it fun. You can control a lot of things and variables as a parent. There's things you can't control, and that's when you buy ice cream after practice. Leon's if you're in Milwaukee, Culver's wherever else you float your boat, wherever you at. Enjoyment, retention, we said that's the goal of the kids. You want to retain it. You want this something they do lifelong. So I'm 36, I'm making wrestling videos. My dad gave that in me, maybe through a roundabout way, but I got that love for the sport where I want to give back, and that's something I want to pass down to my children, and hopefully they can pass down to their children. We can have, a legacy of Kennelly's wrestling instead of just me coming as the first one in my family. And I did a few cousins and things like that too, and I got nephews that, I'm paying their membership, and their parents are going to bring them soon, but they're not quite at the age yet. But yeah, I'm trying to convince their parents with that, brushing the teeth, doing the other sleeping on time thing, that wrestling is a good part of that human children development, males and females. Now we talking. And the last one, probably the most important. I got this one, a lot of these things from Askrens as well, because I think they run the best kids club in the nation. The kid must request competition. You're gonna have some of them kids that, I got that 5 or 6 year old, they're really, really good. They just come in, they bounce, they try to fight me, their balls off the wall. That kid wants to compete. They say, hey coach, when is the tournament? But if your child isn't coming up to you, hey dad, hey mom, when is the tournament? Don't bring that to them. Competition is a lot, especially at those ages. I'll go into later on, I believe there's a certain number of matches, a certain window of years you have to compete in if you do it the right way. You don't want your kids to be 5 years old to 10 years old, as opposed to 15 to 20 or something like that. And you can play with the numbers as you want. But let the kid request that competition. Don't force them into it. Don't want to get out, get little Johnny or little Jill that little medal, because they probably will win. Who knows? It's all kids. And hopefully, they still have fun, but let them bring the competition to you. Do not force it on them. And hopefully we'll have long, enjoyable wrestling and grappling processes with our children. So please send me some recommendations. I'm going through this process as well. So I just wanted to share y'all what I'm doing. And obviously my kids are still nonverbal, so they can't fully communicate verbally yet to me what they want to do. So, but body language, I could tell when they're having fun, when they're not. And me and my wife are very cognizant of that as we put our foot on the gas and definitely, sometimes take off, maybe even press the brakes. And the same with her. I'm getting my wife involved now. She could watch wrestling almost as good as anybody else and is slowly getting on the mats. One day she's going to be a very great coach. She just doesn't. She already is a very great coach. She just hasn't done it in practice form yet. And the Kennelly Dynasty is coming, and hopefully you'll be there for it. So please add some feedback, especially if you watched this far. And as always, thank you for watching. It's going to be peace and much love to you.